Michael Rasheed.
And Chris van der Wetering.
And Viv Coleman. We're sitting here today recapping about what we did yesterday.
We surveyed around about 1,700 hectares of seagrass here, which is an enormous amount of seagrass, and we managed to get all that done in one tide with the helicopter, and as well as assess all the sites we needed to do to see how the seagrass is going. So it was really good.
It was amazing actually up there to see from a high distance, not just a drone but firsthand, and actually how much area the seagrass actually covers. It was actually really amazing to see that. And on the weekend we saw 4 pods of dugongs and probably about at least 30 dugongs, and I'll drop some video of that in this as well, because that's essentially what all this is about, the seagrass monitoring.
Yeah, look, it's a really important area for dugong in the Clairview region. So, and as you know, it's a dugong protection area. We're recognising that, and every year that we've been doing this survey, this current round of surveys for the last 5 years, there's just extensive dugong feeding trails right throughout the seagrass, as well as green turtles feeding there. So an amazingly productive system, really important.
So Michael was actually in the front seat of the helicopter doing the data collection, and when I say that, it was actually observing the quadrants, the actual quadrats. I'm learning all these technical terms of where we were surveying, and we'd actually land the helicopter randomly in amongst the fields or meadows, and actually collect data randomly. So it was really important to do that. So you're not just getting, okay, there's some seagrass, there's some seagrass. It was actually very random, and it was really interesting. I actually don't know how many times that helicopter landed, but it was quite a lot. I'll have to count the dots.
I think there's about 150 sites.
Wow, there you go.
Where we assessed the seagrass within the meadows, yeah.
So 150 times we went up and down. It was better than a show ride, I can tell you that. And Chris was in the back seat with me and recording all that data.
Yeah, busy writing it all down, so we have stuff to work with back in the office.
The other thing I found really interesting yesterday is while we were up in the air, they actually had the seagrass monitoring happening on the ground as well, which is more of an intense data monitoring. It's really important to also acknowledge the funding partners for this project, and it is Dalrymple Bay Coal Terminal, Dalrymple Bay Infrastructure, and also JCU and Healthy Rivers to Reef. Important to acknowledge those partnerships, as well as the fact that the Healthy Rivers to Reef Partnership also helps put out a report card, and that's what all this monitoring is really about. And it's vital for our area, for our ecosystems, to be able to collect the data in all of the regions to make sure that the report card is really true, and it's a real valued piece of data, because it isn't just a piece of paper that gets done and put in the cupboard. It's something that gets referred to all the time in regards to how healthy our regions are.
Yeah, no, it was really important to get some monitoring down this southern section of the Mackay with Sunday Isaac region, because there was a bit of a gap in data. So and obviously this is such an important place for seagrass. So we're lucky to have that support through the Healthy Rivers to Reef Partnership and the partners to be able to do the monitoring, fill in the gap, and we'll have a scorecard. And look, the seagrass out here is looking really good. It's the area that we surveyed yesterday was, I think, will turn out to be, one of the largest areas of seagrass we've captured in the 5 years we've been doing it. The biomassal density of the seagrass, from initial observations in the field, obviously we've got to work up the data, looked pretty good as well. So yeah, and it's funny too, because people go out there and look at that seagrass and go, oh, that doesn't look so great, because it's kind of small and sparse looking, but that's actually an awesome sign, because it means the dugong and turtle are feeding on it, and that's why it's depressed such a low sort of density seagrass cover, and that's actually a really great sign that we've got really good herbivory from the dugong and turtle there. I suspect if we saw the seagrass being really tall and lush, that's probably not such a great sign for this area, because it might mean that there's something going on with dugong and turtle. And yeah, you know, it was really good to me today.
That is so welcoming to hear that. Wonderful. Chris, anything else you want to add?
No, I think just, it's like we're saying, obviously all the animals we saw out there yesterday, the meadow's obviously supporting quite a healthy population of both turtle and dugong, which is great to see.
Yep. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for the ride yesterday, and it was just so valuable. Not only for myself to be able to take that in my role and take that back to council, but also to understand fully what our partnerships are contributing to, where those funding levels are coming from, and I think that it's really valued. So thank you very much.
No
Thanks
worries.
for your time.
Great to have a local up there with us.
Oh, it was wonderful. See yous.